First of all, good afternoon, everyone. I'm very honored to be standing on this stage in this university that I graduated in and the university that gave me the key to my future right now. Okay, I'm going to take you to first of all, a dream world and then reality. Okay, imagine a Yemen. Imagine a Yemen where all of us had the same tribal name. Let's say a Yemen where there was no superiority or inferiority, where no one deserved better treatment than the other just because of their birthright, where superficial things like physical appearance didn't matter. Imagine a Yemen where there was no classification or categorization of people. Maybe the dream of such a far-fetched Yemen will never come true, but how about we start respecting each other first as human beings and then as Yemeni nationals? Is that possible? Yemenis have long been known to be hospitable and generous people. This is an image most foreigners who have been to Yemen have. However, once you step inside Yemen, especially as a Yemeni immigrant, you start to notice cracks that distort the image of hospitable Yemenis. You realize that most of the times, hospitality of Yemenis apply only if you have been weighed, classified, and categorized to be worthy. And to be worthy, one doesn't even have to earn it. One has to just belong or to be. To belong means to be born from a specific tribe or to be purely from Yemen. To be means to look a certain way, perfect based on society standards. And we'll see how these are reflected in the Yemeni society and how they're used to classify and categorize people. Okay, I'll start with my first point of belonging, which is to be born of a specific tribe. I've read a lot about tribalism and how it's one of the main things that hinders our country from growing. It's true, and it's also true that most of us dislike tribalism, especially when it becomes this factor that holds our country back. But do we really work towards eliminating it or making it an insignificant matter, or do we still fuel it in some indirect way that we believe is not bad? I understand that in the Middle East, in North Africa, tribalism is culturally rooted, and that tribal values identify people. However, I also believe that when given great consideration and importance, it leads to shaping, among many things, our social relationships. The first time that I went to my village in Hadramaut was in 2011, and I saw things I had only heard about, and things I thought were a bit backward in this era. I had people being called demeaning names because they come from very low class tribes, and they got discriminative comments. The worst thing is that their children, who are only children and deserve to live lives of normal and happy children, face the same demeaning and discriminative comments. All of us probably know how tribes are classified in Yemen, right? With the biggest ones being Saadas, then you have Shuyukh, Qabailis, and others below that. What is sad is that we talk about negative impacts of tribalism while we still walk around and boast with our birthrights and make others feel less than they should. It's 2015, and what I'm about to tell you might shock some of you, and it's still in most parts of Yemen. It goes as far as a sada not touching, and by touching I mean shaking hands with someone who is less than a sada or a sheikh, sometimes a qabili, but anyone below those lines isn't worthy of a simple handshake. Our Prophet, peace be upon him, faced this kind of discrimination and was victimized when the disbelievers in Mecca accused him of being a regular person and not from the noble tribes. It is mentioned in the Holy Quran, and they said, had this Quran been brought down to a great man from the two villages, we would have been believed. So you see, this is something sad that happens in our society, that we treat people this way. It goes as far as seeing these people, some of them are the most educated and hardworking people in our society, and yet they're treated as worthless. Why can't we see them as positive contributors to our society? People who can bring about positive changes and give back to our society. If we continue treating these people as less than humans, worthless, or less than less as Yemeni nationals, then they will find the fast exit outside the country to be their best option, and they'll never look back because no matter how educated they'll be, how qualified they'll be, how hard they'll try to prove themselves to the society, they'll never really belong. They will never be seen as achievers, but always degraded based on their roots. The second point I wanted to talk about belonging in Yemen is to be purely from Yemen, or to be born and raised up in Yemen, which also earns someone better classification in the society. And this is where my own personal experience comes in. I was born and raised up in Kenya, so I came to Yemen when I was 16 years old. What happens is that there is a specific classification for Yemeni immigrants from different backgrounds, and these immigrants are usually, if they're immigrants from Africa, they get second-class classification, second-class Yemenis. And I'll give you an example. Meeting new people. Ordinarily, it should be a pleasant experience, right? But for the 11 years that I've been living in Yemen, it feels like an interrogation. From the beginning of the conversation, I feel like I have to weigh what I say, because I feel like the other party isn't asking me because they want to know me better, but to put me on a scale that will determine how the conversation goes. Sometimes there is needless curiosity behind the questions asked. If I reach the expectation of the party asking me questions and satisfy all the needless curiosity, then the conversation heats up. If not, then the fire burns out, and even the